It's fine. Stand up, I get up. Shona focus, come on, be a go-getter. Shona gonna stay focused. Opportunities, gotta get busy, gotta fight next year.
Move, hustlers, get out the way, get out the way. We are not on the fast lane, got the smooth yellow lane, aka emergency lane. Joba siyesiphuthuma la kuvele khona ingozi. Kodwa khona manje asusunyawo emafutheni, sinyathela amabhriki, sithatha isikhathi sokubusa abantu emakhaya sithi sanibonani, and a salute to all my hustlers. Igama umepelelo shumo, less iSpani. Eqaphelisa namhlanje bafethu, samba nensizwe yomjuwishu, Margo. Insizwa ke eme ngomumo to go on the scene, ukunceda ke impilo ke esequphelweni umuntu ke othola asengozini yomgwaqo bafethu khona laphana emotweni njengoba ke sikhombisa umkhakha ke obhanqa ke emergency care ne vehicle rescue maliphelele ke iyona ke emergency care vehicle technician bafethu. Insizwa ithi it's not by chance no by accident ukuthi ikhethe ukungena kulo mkhakha bafethu akahlangane naye sithi kumazi kangcono njengoba ngithi shalom.
How's it? I'm Margo, I'm 21 years old. I live in Fairlands. I am the firstborn child to Russet Margo, and my mom means the world to me because growing up as a single parent was not easy. My father left my mom before I was born. It was always me and her against the world. And I remember growing up, she used to be a musician. And she used to sing at the restaurants and on the weekends and during the week as an entertainer. And I always used to go with her because sometimes, you know, we couldn't afford a nanny or something like that.
You know, I was what I was, basically. I didn't have any formal education. I did get some formal education later. But I found out it was something I was really good at, and that was singing, and that I could make a living out of it to support my son.
So when I was 6 years old, my gran passed away. I remember at least twice a week, an ambulance was at our house, taking her to hospital and back.
The death of my mother did affect us quite drastically. When I took my all home, I had no knowledge of raising a little baby. I'd never had much to do with little children at all. And I always say my all is what he is, not because of me, but perhaps to spite me sometimes. Because I don't know if I did everything right. Obviously, being a single mum, I really didn't know whether I was doing it right. So my mum was a huge support. There was a very influential teacher. His name was Matthew at my old school, and a young boy. He was actually, in fact, a student himself, and he loved children. He loved education, and he was a very charismatic young man. I didn't know him that well because with my hours, I actually didn't get to know any of his teachers that well because I never really got to see them. The only time I ever got to meet them was when I was called into the office, which was regularly. And yes, those dreaded words, Mrs. Margo, could you please come to the office?
I always went to him telling him about my stories, good and bad, when I had troubles, when I wanted to tell him nice stuff. So you can say it's like a father figure as well to me. Then one day, unfortunately, he was involved in a hijacking and they shot and killed him. In 2007, my mom and I met one of the biggest and most important person in my life to this date, Andre Tonkin. Now, meeting Andre he had DSTV. I never knew what DSTV was. I always knew 4 channels in my whole life. Growing up, it was always 4 channels, and now all of a sudden there's over 300 other channels out there. I thought it was like SABC on steroids or something. So that is really great, and he became really good role model to me.
Knowing that there were people taking care of my child was an absolute blessing to me. 100% blessing. Not only that, I mean, people just really show themselves to be fantastic people. They would, as I say, make him a lunch, or they would bring him toiletries when I really didn't even have the finances to do that, and then assist with perhaps transportation to and from school or to aftercare, etc., etc. And I always used to have to pull in favors because I just didn't have the money to pay for it. So I used to have to pull in favors all over the place.
Okay, so my bicycle story. It's actually one of my greatest childhood memories. Is one weekend, actually, my mom was doing a promotion because every kid in school had a bicycle or a scooter or rollerblades, and there's me with running in school shoes. And the manager goes to my mom and she's like, "We didn't have a good day at all. Fortunately, we can't pay you, but we saw your son's looking at the bicycles the whole day, and he can go choose whichever bicycle he wants." So that's exactly what I did. I went and I grabbed the bicycle I was staring at the whole day, and I went home with a bicycle, and that's how I got my first bicycle. I didn't know how to ride it. Couldn't even get on it. It was a big mountain bike. It was double my size. I still had to, but I was the happiest, as you can imagine, the happiest child in the world. So it was actually just during matric. I said I spent a lot more time on the ambulances and working on the weekends and on the holidays with the emergency services. And just before I ended matric, I applied at the ER24 Training Academy to go do basic ambulance assistance with them. And basically I got accepted. And now the only job for me now was to finish my schooling and to finish my matric. And I did that, and then I went to the ER24 Training Academy. There was a course at the fire department of motor vehicle rescue, and I got a bit of money together from my mom and my brother and myself. I asked if they can help me with this, please. And I want to do this course because it's always good to have more qualifications because then you can do more. So basically, I did the course the next following week, and I finally got a new skill under me and something that I will really love, to have the knowledge of rescue.
As I said, thanks, I think, to my positivity, he fed off that, and he has become a lovely young man that everybody respects and everybody loves. And the fact that I walk into a place with maybe my friends or Andre's friends or Andre's family, which is our family, and everybody goes, "Oh, Ma'o's here. This is wonderful, Ma'o, we haven't seen you for ages. I'm so happy you're here." And everybody loves him and everybody respects him and everybody reveres what he does.
And then after, let's say, 3 weeks or so, or a month after I've had this qualification, our one guy who runs the rescue vehicle in the north left ER24 for another job. So basically tomorrow I'm going to be going to ER24 and they're going to assess my capabilities and see if I'm the right guy for the job.
Ma'o's going for an interview tomorrow, and I say to him, what I always say to him is, you can't fail. Just be yourself, show them what you know, show them the person who you are, and you cannot fail. You just cannot fail. And every time my son succeeds, I'm so proud of him, but I'm not surprised, not at all, because I really believe in my heart that he cannot fail, because he has such a passion for what he does.
Okay, I feel like if I get this position, I can finally put all my rescue qualifications to good use, and I can help people not only from the medical side, but from the rescue side as well. And I'm looking forward to that.
technical question on the stabilization of the vehicle. Have you ever heard of the double funnel principle in rescue?
Yes.
And can you explain to me a bit about it?
Oof, let me go. How's it, guys? I'm here at ER24's base for my rescue interview, and I'm quite nervous, so wish me good luck.
Good morning, Margo. How are you doing?
I'm good, and yourself, Mr. Milan?
Great stuff. Welcome to ER24 and welcome to the interview process for the rescue medic position that you have applied for. At this stage, we're going to do some practical demonstrations where we want to see what you can do from a task point of view, but we'll get to that where we hand you over to your mentor as well. I need to know a bit more about yourself, so go ahead and tell me.
Cool. Well, thank you first of all for giving me the opportunity to come in today. And a bit about myself is I'm hardworking, as you can see from my past. I'm very happy and enthusiastic. I love my job, I really do, and I believe being a rescue medic, I love working on an ambulance, but I believe my true calling, and I'll do even better working on a rescue vehicle.
Great. Just one question from my side is that the first thing that when you get to an accident scene, what would be your first actions that you will do?
Well, my first actions would be, of course, is my safety of myself and the scene. So the first thing I will see is scene safety. And if the scene is safe to approach, the first thing I'll do on the vehicle is I will stabilize the vehicle and I will cut the battery of the vehicle.
All right, just next question would be, what is the difference between an actual EMT medic and a rescue medic?
So basically, an everyday paramedic or medic works on an ambulance, goes to your house calls, your accidents, or everything. The nice thing about being a rescue medic is we have the rescue qualifications, as if you were involved in a serious motor vehicle accident and you became entrapped in your vehicle, we can come to the scene and we can cut you out of your vehicle and transport you to hospital. So it's basically being a medic, being a specialized medic at the end of the day, as well as if you've fallen down a cliff or in a trench or something like that, we can come down and we can rescue you.
All right, why? What's the reason for cutting the battery?
So I would cut the battery for the reason is to disable all electronics in the vehicle, as in the airbag systems as well as any other electronics. For the reason is once we get into the vehicle, we don't want the airbags to deploy unnecessarily, either harming us or harming the patient. And especially when we're cutting in certain parts of the vehicle, we don't want an accidental deployment.
One technical question on the stabilization of the vehicle. Have you ever heard of the double funnel principle in rescue?
Yes.
And can you explain to me a bit about it?
Ooh, let me go. Okay. So double funnel, for example, if a car is on its side, and when a car is on its doors, basically it can go either way. So the whole point of it is not to stabilize the vehicle only on the one side, because once you stabilize the vehicle on the one side, you're pushing more pressure onto the other side. So it's very important to stabilize the vehicle on both sides, so it's an equal support.
All right, also the next question would be that we deal with a lot of traumatic scenes at this stage. How do you deal from a personal point of view with the traumatic incidents that we see, especially people that is harmed in a very bad way?
So luckily we've got such a great support system. So the first thing was the base managers always offer us support as crew, and at the end of the day, if there's any worries, we know their doors are always open, that we can go to them if we have a problem. We've also got trauma counselors that I go speak to regularly, and at the end of the day, what keeps me going is, as long as I know I've done my best and we've done our best for this patient and there's nothing else that could be done, then I've sympathized, but then at least I know that we've done our best, and I'll go confide rather with our base manager or the trauma counselor.
And you have done so before, speaking to counsellors and
Yes.
your branch managers?
Yes, and they've helped me through a lot of stuff.
All right, from a technical aspect on cutting on vehicles, tool-wise, what is the better option on tools when getting close to the patient and cutting in close proximity of the patient?
When you're cutting close proximity, it's nice to have all these big hydraulics and everything like that for the heavy duty stuff. But as soon as you're getting closer to the patient, you don't want to have this big machinery near them. So the best thing is hand tools. Your everyday saws, your crowbars, your Halligan tool. So everyday hand tools like that will be the best when you're in close proximity to the patient.
All right, Margo, we've come to the end of the interview process. Just to give you a bit of background from ER24 side of you, international accredited ambulance service, and also we strive to be one of the best ambulance services and rescue services to assist the fire department with the accidents that they come across as well, where they need assistance in rescue. So from here on, what we're going to do is we're going to give you 3 tasks out on the practical environment to see that you are capable of doing the practical things on the ground outside there. We will also then take you across to your mentor, Mr. Chris Harden, that will take you through the tasks that you need to do, and we will be doing that on the practical grounds. And good luck for this, and all the best.
Cool, thank you, Mr. Mike.
Mao le supile lerato la mosebetsi ona ene o na le tsebo e utlwahalang ka batho ba leng kotsing le ka ha dikoloi ka nnete o kgethile career ena a tseba sepheo sa hae bahiri ba lefapha lena ba babedi ke government le di private emergencies o tlameha gore o bane le registration ya HPCSA o bane le driver's license and o bane le professional driving permit o bane le dilemo di le 18 kapa ka godimo gore o kgone go ithutela course ya basic ambulance assistance ER24 le bona bana le di electives ha se o qetile ka hodimo ha sena o ka ikotlisetsa light motor vehicle rescue e leng seo Mao a se entseng go mo thusa ho fumana mosebetsi mahaslase ba bangata batho ba kotlisitseng mona wena o tlameha gore o bane le maikemisetso ene hape o khotlelle gore o thole mosebetsi hopola gore past ya hao ke mo o ithutileng thuto ke bokamosong ba hao mo o tlo sebedisang thuto eo o se ke wa lahlela toulo.
Hello, my name is Chris Harden. I've been with ER24 for the last 5 years, currently working on their rescue unit vehicle as a rescue medic. I'm going to be Mao's mentor for today.
Hello sir, can you hear me? Sir? Hello?
Oh, try that door. Let's see if we can get him out.
No, the door is stuck.
Mao to the rescue. Hustlers, yabona abantu basebenza lapha na ku emergency care ngibathatha njengama superhero ngoba yibona ke abantu bokuqala ke abafikayo mosithola usengozini bazama ke ukukunceda. Insizwa ke sihamba namuhla bafethu iqeqeshiwe lapha na ke ku light motor vehicle techniques bafethu njengoba ke kuumuntu ke omela ngisipho ukuthi yabona la kuvele khona ingozi for ama paramedics nama patient bafethu ukuthi uphephile nokuthi ezinye ingozi azidaleki kodwa khona manje awuthi ngifaka ama safety codes bafethu ngifake i red tape to mark the scene where the hustlers and the word jungle collided. Ningasabi bafethu ngizonceda nginikeze ke amahlu amathathu which are your letters E, O and E bafethu. Uma uyazi impendulo ngena lapha na ku Twitter na ku Facebook. Kodwa manje asamzobona insizwa ilapha na ke ER24 njengoba ke izongena emotweni ngithi samba ngevura asimboni.
Mo, we've got a report of a car accident.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a young man trapped in the vehicle, passenger. Let's go and have a look and see what's going on there. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Hello, sir. Hello. More. Go check the patient. I'm going to check this vehicle, okay?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Sir? Hello?
Or try that door. Let's see if we can get him out.
No, the door is stuck.
Let's get our safety equipment out. Let's chock this vehicle. Let's go.
Well, to be honest, my first scene was actually quite a hectic one. The first call I ever went to was a motorbike accident where somebody hit a car on a motorbike, and so we arrived on scene and we found this gentleman. There was pieces of bike everywhere, and he wasn't in the best of shape at all. And the one person I was working with said to me, I must just go down the road there and just fetch the piece down there. So this guy's bike pieces were everywhere. So I thought, no, I'm just going to go pick up a bike piece. So I go, but he gave me a red bag. So I walk down like 30 meters from the bike, and I get there, and there's his leg. There's the biker's leg 30 meters away from the scene. So I put that in a red bag and I took it back up to the main scene, and the helicopter landed, but unfortunately by that time it was a bit too late for the gentleman and he passed on.
So when did you get into EMS?
Since 2015.
Where did you start off?
I started off as a first aider in school, and then basically I went to ER24's training academy.
Okay. How was the training academy then?
Oh, it was good. I knew as soon as I was in there, this is what I wanted to do.
And where did you start working?
Started working immediately with ER24, with the events department.
I think the main characteristics of a rescue personnel would be having patience, because you need a lot of patience in this job. You get situations where you just need to remain calm, look at the situation, take it from there. So patience is a very big thing. You also need a lot of dedication, because it takes a lot of your time up. You're always busy, you're always working, you just need to have dedication in what you're doing, patience, and those are probably the main aspects. When did you want to become a rescue medic?
Well, maybe a year ago. I've always loved the rescue aspect.
How did you find out about that?
Well, when I was working with ER24, I always saw the rescue vehicle that was going out to calls, and I knew I wanted to be a part of that.
Okay. And how was your training been going so far?
Ah, it's going good. Let's just get this patient out in one piece. Having the teacher role model of mine pass away at such a young age, and the cause was, of course, he was involved in the hijacking, it did make me want to help people, but as well as, it's a difficult one, that because I didn't really, by that time I still loved emergency services and I knew what I wanted to do, but it did, I don't know how I can say it, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems secure. Let's get our road cones out, let's secure the scene, and let's go. Let's place your cones around out here, let's secure the scene.
The most dangerous scene I've arrived at is, well, to be honest, always when we go into a scene we don't know what to expect. And I used to work with ER24 in Cape Town, and we went to a mob justice situation where they actually shot at us, and they threw stones and everything at our ambulance, and they shot at us. So that wasn't the greatest.
Challenges you could have faced in task one was the vehicle not being stabilized correctly, such as one of the chocks getting loose or slipping out, which later on would have made the vehicle completely unstable and we wouldn't have been able to complete our task. He did really well. He stabilized the vehicle quickly, efficiently. He put out scene safety, he set up the barrier. Everything he did really well.
Okay.
More task one is complete. Good job. Let's move on to task two.
Okay, thanks.
Mao o entse tsohle ka lenaneo ka nnete o itlhophisitse for sebaka sena. Vehicle rescue course e a entseng ke karolo ya unit standard e isang certificating sa rescue and fire operations. Ho go bua hore moithuti ya leng qualified a ka etsa mosebetsi wa ho pholosa dikoloi tse leng kotsing le batho ba lemetseng. Mahaslas ha le kgetha di-career kgetha hobane e le sepheo sa hao. Ha o sa tsebe sepheo sa hao tseba hore ana ke eng se o tjhisahallang ho sona le se o kgatlehang ho sona hobane ke tsona tseo tse ho isang sepheong sa hao.
Whoa, why is this glass not breaking? Okay, Mo, you've done well so far. We're going to be moving on to task number 2. Okay, we need to get a medic inside here, start treating that patient, and then we need to get this glass removed out of here. Okay.
Okay, car is safe. Medic, can you please go in the car?
Okay. You want to get the helmet on top of the patient more, and you want to cover the patient with that for the glass. Okay. Okay, well, that patient's nice and covered now. How are we going to get this glass out?
Okay, so I'm going to need a Halligan tool. I'm going to puncture a hole there, and then I'm going to use a rip saw, and I'm going to remove the windscreen.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Let me get your tool.
I do think of my friend Bongani, especially if I arrive to a scene where someone was drunk there and they've hit an innocent person, because that's how my friend died. And at the end of the day, I have to draw a line between professionalism and my personal life. And at the end of the day, even though this person is drunk and has caused this accident, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at a person that is injured. And I have to do my job, and I can't judge him, and I must help the person that is injured. That's my only job. So.
That looks good. Okay, let's get your rip saws over here. Let's start cutting across there. So, what's the most causes of accidents that you've seen, eh?
Well, one of the main things I notice is intoxicated drivers.
Well, we see horrible things almost on a daily basis. We live in a country where violence is around us all the time, and we see horrible things all the time. And you have to get to a point where you have to kind of block it out. When you get to work, you have to say, okay, I'm at work, we're going to work. And then what happens at work happens at work. If you start taking that stuff home with you, if you start thinking about things when you're at home of what happened during the day and going and reliving all those incidents that you've gone through, you're not going to sleep at night. You're going to have problems at home with your wife. It's going to haunt you in a way. Okay, Francia, you stay this side, I'm going to go that side. We're going to flip the window down.
Okay, the window's out. We can access our patient better now.
Okay, What's your next priority you want to do? What's the next step?
Okay, I want to get the patient out of the vehicle.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut the pillars and we're going to flip the roof.
Okay, what tool are you going to use then?
I'm going to use our rip saw again and I'm going to use our combi tool.
Okay, any problems you think you're going to encounter?
This vehicle is reinforced, but we can get its weak spots and we can get this roof off.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do that.
Okay, so the rescue vehicle is here on scene. Okay, they're going to cut us out, okay?
So what I would do differently and what values that I would teach my kids at the end of the day, the first thing is respect. Respect is not demanded, respect is earned. And I would treat them to respect anyone, no matter what color you are, no matter what gender you are. That's the biggest thing, and I'm really, really big on respect. And that's one of the things, and as well as for my child to be confident as well as self-disciplined, as in you should never have to beg your child for them to make their bed or to clean up their clothes. They should want to do it because you should encourage them to teach them this is how it's done. As like you would put on underwear and brush your teeth in the morning, it's the same as you should make your bed, and it should just be something you do.
Okay, Mo, the last step of task 2. You need to get this glass panel out and then the 2 on the side, okay?
Yeah.
So you're going to use your glass breaker, give a nice firm hit in the corner there, and shatter this glass.
Cool.
Okay, when you're ready, yeah? Okay, go more.
Yeah.
Hit. Okay, good job. Okay, get all the glass out. Okay, let's move on to the second 2 as well. Okay. In this task 2, I don't think the breaking of the glass would have ended up in a life or death situation. I'm sure he would have found out another technique to have broken the glass. It is an essential part that we need to do, but it wouldn't have impacted the life of the patient by not breaking it.
Okay, Antonio, I'm going to break the glass now, okay? There's going to be a bit of a noise, but don't worry.
Okay, nice solid hit in the corner there.
Careful. No, this is... Yeah.
Oh, why is this glass not breaking?
Well, it's tempered glass, it should break in one hit, but obviously it's been laminated.
Okay, let's try again one more time.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, let's remove this.
In task 2, when we struggled to break the back window, it just shows that no matter how many times you try, even 1, 2, even 3 times, that you shouldn't give up. You should just continue pushing hard and you'll eventually get it. It was a bit frustrating, but we got it.
The reason we use the little hammer, at the end of it, it's got a little point on it. That point concentrates all the energy into that little area, and that little area shatters all the glass. So if you use something bigger, generally it doesn't break it. You want that little edge point to put all that energy into that little area, and that's going to break the glass. Well, the glass is removed nicely. You can get good access to the patient here. Let's start moving on to the next task and cutting this roof off here and getting the patient out. Okay, cool.
Mona re bona tsebo ya hae ya koloi le tshebediso ya di-tools ho phetha mosebetsi. Hore o kgone ho etsa mosebetsi ona, o tlameha hore o bane le matla, o kgone ho sebetsa le ba bang, o kgone ho bokella le go beakanya melaetsa, o bue ka ho nepahetseng ene o tsebe ho sebedisa technology. Mao ena o na le bokgoni ba tseo kaofela. Mahasla, qala letsatsi la hao ka mekgwa e nepahetseng. O tla tlatselletsa bokamoso ba hao ka matla le katleho.
Hustlers, yabona ke isikhathi semqoka kakhulu phinde futhi sibalekile ngoba ke i-patient idinga uncedo ngokukhulu ukusheshsha nama-emergency care workers mele akwazi ukusebenza ngokukhulu ukusheshsha. Kodwa umbuzo sinawo ukuthi ngabe nilapha emakhaya nisenda iy'mpendulo zenu ngokukhulu ukusheshsha na lapha ku-Word Jumbo. Help! Hustlers are damsel in distress. Don't worry, I'll rescue you. You need the one more clue, which is the letter S. Moya zimpeni ungene lapha nokuTwitter na Facebook. Masibuya ever okay insizwa ke iyokhombisa ikhono lakhe. Iphinde futhi isebenza ama specialized tools bafethu ukunceda ke i-patient out of a wrecked car. Ngithi mina ke uyosebenzisa ama jaws of life. Mina ngithi I'm going to use my jaws and have a bite and take a break. I'll be right back.
Time to do task number 3. I want you to cut the roof of the car off here, starting from the back and moving forward to the front, okay?
Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to cut the car, but I need to spread the door first. Okay. Cool.
Good? Okay.
I have been in a car accident. I was driving in quite a bad weather and somebody skipped the robot and we hit him quite hard. Their car rolled and they had to be taken to hospital. Luckily we just walked away, my Anja and I, with a bit of whiplash, but we were fine. There we go. Okay, that's what I want.
Samuel, what are the problems when you face a scene? Children or elderly patients?
Yeah, sometimes when children are involved, of course it's harder, but we still do our jobs to our best of our abilities.
And how does that affect you after the call? You're saying, how do you deal with it after you've been there and children have been on scene?
Well, I talked to my partner about it and then we get through it.
What partner? Your work partner or?
No, colleague.
The most difficult part about losing a patient is that you know that that patient actually has a family. They're going to be someone's child, they're going to be a father to someone, a son to someone. They've got a whole story behind that, and that story has now come to an end. And sometimes the stories that we see come to an end should never have been put out. Like, you see a situation where a young guy comes to the end of his life from a motor vehicle accident, and you just feel that it's such a loss that someone so young could have been taken away so early. Final step in this process on the side, put a relief cut in over here. Open your tool up, slide a second go, stick it in here, and let's cut through.
Cool. Okay, we're going to cut now, Antonio.
Going good, going good. Well, the blade breaking off is never good because that's a sharp blade, it's hot. If it breaks off and falls down onto a patient, that could always burn the patient, could injure them further. It could damage your equipment and your tools by breaking off and shearing like that. So tool management and maintenance is very important. To work with your tools in a manner that you don't break them on a scene is very important. In line here. Okay. Yeah. 3 or 4 nice ones, okay? Yeah. Ready? Okay, let's go, do it. In. Okay, one more then. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, good. Okay, let's go. Go. Okay, step up. 1, 2. 2. 1, 2.
Well, I'd like to say to my mom that I love her and I am beyond grateful for what she's done for me over all these years of bringing me up as a single parent, and she's tried her absolute best in everything to raise me, and I can't even begin to appreciate her, and she's my world.
What is the most important thing we need to do now?
We need to cover the sharp ends.
Okay, let's get the edge protectors, let's put them on, let's get these covered. One of those. Okay, more. I think we've done a good job. Counted a few problems here and there, but we sorted them out. I think we should hand over to the medics, let them extricate. I think we're going to be closing off on our task number 3 here. You happy?
I'm happy.
Okay, let's call your medics in and let's get the patient out.
Okay, medics, it's all yours.
Welcome back, Margo. I hope you had a terrific day out on the practical part of things. Your decision of removing the patient, how did that come about from how you're going to do that?
Well, we saw the position that the patient was in, and we made a decision on that it would be best to remove the patient from the back, and so we decided that we were going to do a half roof flap.
And that you did to the front end side, as
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
Okay. From a safety aspect, how did you keep that roof from not going anywhere?
Well, we've got our section, because we were folding the roof to the front, so we will cut the 2 furthest pillars on each side. So it's the C pillars, then we went to the B pillars, and then we made our relief cuts, and then we folded the roof towards the bonnet, and then we strapped the bonnet. We strapped the roof down to the bonnet with a wrench.
Right, before I give you the feedback, do you have any questions from your side to me?
If I do get the position as a rescue medic, where can I go from there? Well, what is in my future?
All right, in your future there's a lot to do, especially from an ER24 perspective. Growing yourself as a rescue technician up until a urban search and rescue technician, where we can add building collapse, trench rescue and industrial and agricultural rescue, that can grow yourself as an urban search and rescue technician, doing the modules of each of the courses. Example, building collapse and so on. So from there on, you can also advance yourself in the medical field of things, of going from a basic life support paramedic to an intermediate life support paramedic. That is, your growth is unlimited.
Oh, okay, well, thank you very much.
All right, I've received positive feedback from the mentor, and this just makes me very happy to actually tell you welcome to the ER24 family, and also as a rescue medic in the Northern District of Gauteng. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Really excited.
All right, Mahor, then we'll get the contract sorted out from our HR department, and then we'll see you on Monday, bright and early, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll carry on from there on. Welcome.
Great, thank you so much. So guys, it's finally here. I've gone for my interview and everything, and I got the job as a rescue medic at ER24. I'm so happy, like all my dreams have come true, and now I can help you guys out there. And for all my hustlers out there, press a push up panda.
Well done, Mao. Ka wena re ithutile hore ke mathata le diphephetso tsa morago tse re thusang gore re atlehe bokamosong. Potso ya rona yo beke ena e tswa ko Themba. A re yena o na le code 14 driver's license ene ke mokganni ya tswelletseng. Taba tse monate ke tsena. South Africa e na le tlhokagalo ya di-truck driver. Wena batla menyetla ko di-companying tsa logistics, food retail le tsa di-supermarket. Ene e kopanye le di-truck drivers tse ding gore ba tsebe go nea di-tips. Ya ko Facebook paging ya bona e South African long distance trackers, and go apply la internship ko websiteng ya Unitrans. Ha e ka ba gona le go sa utlwang, hopola o checkela Facebook ya rona kapa le yona website ya rona. Ke emetse ya hao potso.
When you find yourself in trouble, who you gonna call? Margo. Njengoba sithi halala kunsizwa mfethu isebenze kahle. Ngithi ngokukhulu ukuzimisela nothando ke lokukhusela impilo zabantu, insizwa ekhethe kahle. We could say he saved the day bafethu. Insizwa ke isebenza ngokukhulu ukushesha, rapid response, which brings us to the answer of the word jumbo. Igama ekade silifuna yi response bafethu. Ngiyanibona lapha masters emakhaya. Some of your responses were fast and some of you were slow. But better luck next time ongayitholanga bafethu. Mina ngumfana kaMntambo. Donke zonke intambo sengiphuma kanje. Axhumaneni khona lapha enkundleni zokuxhumana, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. Yohlala ngitshela ngithi don't look down, look up and stay up.